Diablo Immortal's release, the official launch of the game. This is something that's still up in the air. No one knows exactly, but Nemo and I, we may have some varying opinions on this. So today, we're gonna make some predictions and battle out those thoughts. What is up, my friends? My name is Echo, and we have Nemo from the Scrappy Academy YouTube channel. Welcome, my man. Thanks for coming through.
Thanks so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here once again, talking about Diablo Immortal, and sounds like we're battling. I'm ready.
I mean, I know that you were in like the debate club in school, so I assume you were, right? I'm not wrong there?
The captain of the debate team, actually. Not just in high school, also in college.
So there you go. So we already know how this video is going to turn out, but at the end of the day, Nemo and I, we have different thoughts on release. So Nemo, I'm going to let you do this. Why don't you backtrack, kind of go with what the initial release was supposed to be, how that has changed, and what now the announced release is for right now, and then we'll try and get into our predictions for when it's actually going to drop.
It's a tall order, but let me try. It was supposed to come out last year. Right, originally, and they drove through it, and things were going well, right? We had the alpha, we played some of the game, and then all of a sudden they kind of backtracked a little bit and said, you know what, that's not how it's gonna work. The game is actually gonna come out in the first half of 2022. So we've been kind of bummed out. I think you've heard multiple videos of me and Neko almost crying, but we all understand why this is happening, right? There's a lot of changes, and we specifically asked for those changes as the testers. So that's one thing to remember. These pushbacks are basically our asks. So they're changing the things and making sure that the game is ready for everyone when the game, when it finally launches globally. First half of 2022 is what they're driving towards. But the last earnings report, when they were talking about specifically Diablo Immortal, they sort of omitted the first half of 2022. They basically said they were still on track to release in 2022. It did not mention the first half. So this kind of gave me doubts about whether the game is actually going to come out in the first half and whether they're going to follow up with the promise that they originally or gave us the second time around just a little while ago.
Yeah, and that is where the debate is going to be. But let's remind everyone, Nemo, we started out with the technical alpha. That was in... what was that? December of 2021? No, December of 2020. It was December of 2020, the technical alpha. Then we had the closed alpha a few months later in 2021. Then we had the beta in 2021 towards the end of it. And now the full release is what should be coming out next. I believe my timeline is semi-correct there. I also want to stress that at least how I personally feel, I'm on both sides of the fence. I want the game now. I want it today. And I do think from everything that I've played, from the closed alpha, technical alpha, the beta, I think the game is still better than any action RPGs on mobile. It's really a fine, polished machine, if you ask me. You agree with that, Nemo?
Yeah, 100%. 100% agree. That game is polished and ready for sure.
Right, I agree. So that's where we're at. We want the game now, but at the same time, we don't want it rushed. The problem is I don't feel like it's being rushed. I feel like things are really ready to go and we could be okay. Am I mad that the delay happened and it didn't come out in 2021? I think mad is the wrong word. I was disappointed. I mean, Nemo, I've been on this channel for 2.5 years, man, making videos about this. And when I started the channel, I was like, oh, the game will be out in 6 months. This is gonna be great. Yeah, I was only off by 2 years so far. So the predictions that we're about to be talking about in this video, I don't know how much water they actually hold for me since I've kind of based the whole channel on this. I guess we're gonna find out. All right, Nemo, so you mentioned that in the investors call, they didn't mention anything about the release date. Actually, they put one sentence in there about Diablo Immortal, that the beta went well, and what else? They said the beta went well and they're taking people's feedback into account or something like that, right?
They actually backtracked because in Q3, they said that everything went well. We got lots of feedback on the testing and we're still on track to be released in the first half of 2022. In the Q4, they just cut that. We're still on track to release in the first half of 2022 was completely cut. They didn't mention anything about that. They just said that the testing went well and they got a lot of good feedback. and that's it.
I see. So I'm going to go, before you and I talk about dates, I'm going to drop down to the chat and I'm going to ask everyone watching this video to drop into the comments section and let us know, when do you actually think Diablo Immortal is going to release? And I know there's going to be some of you that say it's never going to release. Sometimes we all feel that way, although I'm pretty sure that Nemo and I know the game is coming. Too much has been put into it. It will be here, and I think it'll be here fairly soon, but it's now time for us to have our little discussion. So I'll go first, Nemo. They said the first half of 2022. Now, they've said this to us before. They've given us a date. I've stood by them and they burned me on it. But I still do believe that it's going to be coming out in the first half of 2022. I will go as specific as saying I used to think it would be in May, but after the investors call and how things were they didn't really talk so much about it, I'm going to say end of June, beginning of July. This is my prediction. My predictions have always been wrong before, but this one I think they're going to hold to it. I don't think they're going to want to push it back again. And it's not only that I don't think they want to push it back, because if there was something wrong with the game, Nemo, I think that they would push it back because they really value the product. But I think it's ready. I mean, we've played it, man. We've played the heck out of this game. And there's been very little wrong. But what do you think? Talk to us about your predictions, why you think differently than I do.
Well, first of all, I this is a solid prediction, Echo, and you're right on point, really. My concern comes in the hesitation and the fact that they didn't mention it in the investor call. Now, later on, just to kind of mention this as well, Wyatt did reiterate this, and I believe on Discord is where he mentioned that. Yes, we are still going to be on track for that. And the way he talked about it, it makes me think that they aren't 100% sure. Like, they're still driving for this date, but I feel like they're thinking there's something that could happen that possibly could derail that. And because that's the case, because of the unsureness of exactly because the issue here is also, in my opinion anyway, if you look at this, right, like at the Apple Play Store right now, the game is still not on pre-order. Normally, when you try to put something on pre-order, you want to do it a few months before you release the game to give people a chance to sign up and all of that good stuff. It's still not there. If that's the case, then we're driving right towards that half point of the mark. And long story short, my prediction, honestly, I'm going to say October.
That's 3 months away from my prediction. Not as bad as I thought you were going to say.
I'm going to say October. It's a tough one, but I really feel like it's either going to be what you say or it's going to be what I say, in my opinion.
And this is what I mean. I kind of baited this a little bit with us battling it out, because it's really not a battle. But I completely see why you're saying what you're saying. And if I said I wasn't a little concerned of that myself, I would be lying. Of course I'm a little concerned. You know, they've gone back on the timeline before. And again, it was for good reason. It's not that they don't want to put out the game. I mean, we know Wyatt, right? We've been in conversations with him. We know him as a person. And the man is so excited for this game. He is probably more frustrated than us that the game isn't out yet. He's been working on this thing for what? 4 years, and it's still not out. He's probably dying for it to go out himself. So the passion that I know that he has for the game just leads me to believe that he's doing everything he can in his power to get it where it needs to be, but he's not the decision maker on release date either.
I agree with you, Echo. Actually, Wyatt is definitely one of those gamers. Like, he's been playing, he's been kind of like working on this game for so long. He's super excited for everyone to play it. But at the same time, Blizzard very much is into trying to give you the most finished, polished product. And being the fact that we're doing the testing and giving them the feedback, I definitely see if there are things that they need to change, they're going to take that time. And at this point, I feel like a few more months isn't going to really make that big of a difference if they really need to polish some of the stuff to make it happen. So yeah, that's where we're at.
Yeah, and let's be honest, they've run into stumbling blocks along the way, right? They've had all their stuff going on internally. They've had the coronavirus come. Now, other games have gotten through that and gone through all this corona stuff. So I won't say it's an excuse, but they have had other things to deal with outside of just focusing on developing the game. I'm sure it's been part of some of the delay. But let's mention 2 other games here, Nemo. I want to talk about Path of Exile Mobile. We essentially heard about this game. The way that they announced it was great because they made fun of Blizzard, so it was like a joking thing, and it was a much lighter, and it wasn't like people were waiting for Diablo 4 and hearing about a mobile game, right? They just announced it better. We've discussed this many times before. But where's the hate for them not dropping the game? I mean, they haven't said a word in years on it, and no one's talking about that. And maybe it's because it's literally silent. No one's talking about it. There's been no alphas, betas. I don't know. And another one is Undecember. Undecember was supposed to come out at the end of 2021. Another game that I'm anticipating highly. And that one still isn't out. And I actually heard it was like pulled from some mobile things, and it may not be coming in English. All rumor. Don't know if it's true or not, to be honest with you. To be fair, I didn't dive too much into the research of that. Maybe I will in an upcoming video. But, you're not hearing that much about that either. It seems that Diablo Immortal, gets all the hate. And the reason is, Nemo, they announced it poorly in the beginning, and it's so anticipated. Everyone wants to play this game because everyone knows deep down they're gonna love it. It's a Diablo game. It's a Blizzard game. No matter what's gone on the past couple of years, people love these games, and they've heard from a lot of us in the community, whether we be mobile gamers or PC gamers, that the game is legit. It's not just some cash grab, and the game is on point, and people are gonna love it. Whether they are a pay-to-play player, a whale, or someone that is completely free to play, I think everyone has a place inside of this game where they're gonna find some enjoyment. Back me up. I hope you will. Do you have my back on that?
100%.
Okay.
It's the best mobile game, and everyone else who's poking fun at it is doing it because it's the best mobile game and because it's the benchmark. And I think I said that before, right? Blizzard is going to they're definitely going to set the benchmark in the mobile AAA gaming. This is absolutely the best game I've ever played, not just for mobile. I really feel like it's super solid, and once people get their hands on it, they're going to understand. And it isn't just I would say the graphics or any of that stuff. It's the feel of the game, just the immersion of it. I really feel like when you start playing the game, whether you played Diablo before or you haven't, it's going to be something that you're really going to like. You're going to feel the quality. Like once you pick something up and it's just well made, it's thick, it's got really nice weight to it, it's perfectly balanced in every possible way. That's what Immortal is. It's going to be a perfect balance in every way, just in a mobile form. I can't wait for everyone to play it and actually see it. It's going to blow every other mobile game out of the water. And I'm really not just saying that. I mean, I can't wait.
Yeah, I agree with you right there. And it has something, there's games that you play that are just unnecessarily complicated and long, in my opinion. And then there's games that are just so shallow that you're dying for more. Diablo Immortal has that depth, but in my opinion, it's not unnecessary depth. They're not having you do things just to kind of keep you playing the game for hours. Everything has a purpose, a reason, a grind for a reason, and an end that you're trying to get to, which in my opinion is very clear. That's why Nemo and I have our channels, to make sure that when you get the game, it's clear for you guys as well, and you know exactly where you're going. So as it sits right now, Nemo is predicting October. I'm predicting end of June, beginning of July. I mean, Nemo, I have to say, I would bet that the audience is rooting for me. Wouldn't you?
I would put my money on that as well. And you know what? I'm rooting for you as well. Seriously, I'm with you guys.
And who knows? It could come even earlier. I mean, this is technically the first half. I don't think it's going to, but technically it could. Nemo, thanks for coming through the channel. What I'm going to ask all of you right now that are still here in the video, first of all, drop down hashtag made it in the comments section below, because you guys are OGs getting through this whole video. Thank you. While you're down there, if you're into Diablo Immortal or other action RPGs on mobile, subscribe and ring the bell. But that's not your only task, because Nemo has a channel too. Actually, Nemo has two YouTube channels. He has the Scrappy Academy YouTube channel, which focuses on Diablo Immortal, and Nemo, or should I call you Tom Sunday? Tell us about your second channel a little bit. This is something that's a new venture for you and that you're really excited about.
Yeah, this is actually, I absolutely love my second channel. It's a real life channel. That's why it's actually called Tom. That's my real name. So I do a lot of different things in there, actually food reviews, traveling. I do a whole bunch of photography. None of you knew, I actually really love photography and videography. And I really get involved in a lot of other stuff over there that I can't normally do on Scrappy Academy because I'm focused on Diablo Immortal. So if you wanted to see what else I'm doing besides Immortal, if you're into that type of stuff, if you like food, traveling, if you like photography, if you like videography, drone stuff, I just got a license to be an official commercial drone pilot. So I'm going to do lots of videos on that, flying and etc. Come on over and check me out. And of course, Echo, thank you so much for mentioning it.
Yeah, no problem, man. It's really cool. I love watching your stuff over there. I'll be linking all of the places to find Nemo down below in the description of the video. Make sure you go check it out. Check out the Tom Sunday channel. If you're not into it, that's cool. Don't subscribe, but maybe you'll like it. I personally love it. I think it's cool to see Nemo in that different light. Go check him out. But we're out of here for today. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and you know we'll both be back with the latest and greatest Diablo Immortal videos on our channels. Have a great day, guys, and be good.